Every generation has a company that dares to ask a question so enormous that it changes the direction of history. In the 20th century, companies asked how to build faster cars, how to connect the world through computers, how to place information into everyone's hands. But the 21st century has given humanity a far more profound question. Can intelligence itself be created? Can a machine learn, reason, discover, and perhaps one day help humanity solve problems that have challenged us for thousands of years? Some believe the answer will define the future of civilization. Others believe it could become humanity's greatest risk. Few companies have stepped into that challenge with more ambition than xAI. Founded in 2023, xAI did not begin with the goal of creating just another chatbot. Its mission reached much further. Its stated purpose was simple, yet breathtaking: to understand the true nature of the universe. Those words sound more like philosophy than business. But history has always belonged to those who dared to dream beyond ordinary limits. This is not simply the story of an artificial intelligence company. It is the story of curiosity, of relentless ambition, of engineers working through endless nights, of impossible deadlines, of criticism, competition, risk, and one question that continues to inspire scientists and dreamers alike. What if intelligence could help humanity understand itself? If stories like this inspire you to think bigger, remember to subscribe and join us for more journeys into the lives, companies, and ideas that are shaping our future. Now, let's begin. Chapter 1: The question that started xAI. Long before xAI officially existed. Before powerful AI assistants captured the world's imagination. Before artificial intelligence became one of the most valuable industries on Earth. There was a question. Not a business plan, not a product, just a question. It is a question that philosophers have asked for centuries. Scientists have dedicated entire careers trying to answer it. Children naturally wonder about it. Why does the universe exist the way it does? Why do the laws of physics work with such remarkable precision? How did life emerge? Can intelligence itself become a tool for discovering answers that humans cannot yet see? Most companies begin with a market opportunity. xAI began with curiosity. And throughout history, curiosity has always been one of humanity's greatest superpowers. Every great discovery began because someone refused to stop asking questions. Isaac Newton asked why an apple falls. Maria Curie asked what invisible forces exist inside matter. Albert Einstein wondered what it would be like to ride alongside a beam of light. The Wright brothers asked whether humans could fly. Each question seemed impossible, until someone devoted years to finding the answer. The founders of xAI believed artificial intelligence could become humanity's newest scientific instrument, not replacing human curiosity, but expanding it. Imagine a scientist capable of reading millions of research papers in hours. Imagine discovering patterns invisible to the human eye. Imagine accelerating medical research, engineering, astronomy, climate science, mathematics, not by replacing scientists, but by giving them a powerful partner. That vision would eventually become the heart of xAI. Yet history teaches us something important. The greatest ideas are rarely welcomed immediately. When new technologies appear, they often create excitement and fear. Artificial intelligence was no exception. Some people saw extraordinary opportunity. Others imagined enormous danger. Could AI eliminate jobs? Could it spread misinformation? Could it become too powerful? These questions were no longer science fiction. They had become real discussions taking place in universities, governments, technology companies, and living rooms around the world. The future felt uncertain. But uncertainty has always accompanied every technological revolution. Electricity frightened people, automobiles frightened people, airplanes frightened people, the internet frightened people. Every generation must decide whether fear will stop progress or responsibility will guide it. The people behind xAI believed that understanding intelligence was too important to ignore. If artificial intelligence was going to reshape civilization, then it needed researchers willing to study it deeply. It needed engineers willing to build responsibly. It needed scientists willing to ask difficult questions. Because intelligence is not simply about answering questions, it is also about asking better ones. That philosophy separated xAI from many traditional technology companies. Its ambition reached beyond software, beyond business, beyond profit. It reached toward one of humanity's oldest dreams, to understand reality itself. Of course, dreams alone never build great companies. Ideas require people. People require courage. And courage requires action. In 2023, that action finally arrived. A new company entered one of the most competitive industries in history. It had no decades-long legacy, no established ecosystem. It was entering a race against some of the largest technology companies on Earth. Many observers wondered, why start another AI company now? Could it really compete? Could it move fast enough? Could it attract the world's best engineers? The challenge looked overwhelming. But history has repeatedly shown that extraordinary companies often begin at moments when success appears least certain. Every remarkable journey begins with one decision, the decision to begin for xAI. That first decision would ignite one of the fastest growing stories in modern technology. But building a mission is easy. Building a company capable of achieving it is something entirely different. And at the center of that challenge stood one of the most influential entrepreneurs of the modern era, a man known for refusing to accept limits, a leader whose companies had already transformed electric vehicles, space exploration, and online payments. Now, he was preparing for perhaps his most ambitious mission yet: artificial intelligence. Chapter 2: Elon Musk's return to artificial intelligence. History is often shaped by people who refuse to stay in one industry. They move from one impossible challenge to another. They are not satisfied with repeating past successes. Instead, they ask a different question. What is the next great problem humanity must solve? For Elon Musk, that question had already led him through several industries: online payments, electric vehicles, space exploration, brain-computer interfaces. But there was one field that had never truly left his mind: artificial intelligence. Long before xAI was founded, Musk had spoken publicly about AI. He believed it had the potential to become one of the most powerful technologies in human history. Not just because it could make businesses more efficient, not just because it could write text or generate images, but because intelligence itself could become a force that reshapes civilization. He often described AI as a technology that deserved careful development, powerful enough to solve enormous problems, yet powerful enough to require thoughtful responsibility. Whether people agreed with his views or not, one thing was clear. He believed AI would influence nearly every aspect of human life, and he did not want to stand on the sidelines. By 2023, the world had entered a new technological race. Artificial intelligence was advancing at a remarkable pace. Research laboratories were publishing breakthroughs. Companies were investing billions of dollars. Governments began discussing policies. Universities expanded AI programs. Every week seemed to bring another announcement. The pace was breathtaking. Many observers compared it to the early days of the internet. Others compared it to the beginning of the space race. the future suddenly felt closer than ever. In this rapidly changing environment, Musk made another bold decision. He founded xAI. It was not presented as merely another software company. Its stated mission reflected an unusually ambitious goal: to understand the true nature of the universe. Some people smiled at the phrase, others questioned it. But history often treats ambitious missions the same way. At first, they sound unrealistic. Then they become difficult. Then, sometimes, they become history. Building an AI company required more than a mission statement. It required extraordinary talent: researchers, engineers, scientists, infrastructure specialists, people capable of solving problems that had never been solved before. Competition for those people was intense. The world's leading technology companies were all searching for the same expertise. Recruiting exceptional talent became one of xAI's first great challenges. But great engineers are often drawn toward great problems. Many wanted to work where they believed they could make the greatest impact. The mission itself became part of the attraction. Inside xAI, the atmosphere was intense. The pace was fast. The expectations were high. Teams worked through long days and late nights. Ideas were tested, rejected, improved, then tested again. Every improvement mattered. Because in artificial intelligence, small advances can create dramatic results. One better algorithm, one faster training method, one hardware optimization. Together, they can transform what a system is capable of doing. But technology alone does not build great companies. Culture does. Every organization develops habits. Some become comfortable. Some become cautious. Others become relentlessly curious. xAI aimed to cultivate curiosity above all else. Engineers were encouraged to challenge assumptions. Researchers were encouraged to ask difficult questions. Progress depended not only on finding answers, but on refusing to stop questioning. That spirit echoed the company's founding mission: to understand the universe, not because the answer would come quickly, but because some questions are worth pursuing even if they take decades. As the company expanded, another reality became impossible to ignore. Artificial intelligence required enormous computing power. Training advanced AI models was unlike building ordinary software. It demanded vast numbers of specialized processors, massive data centers, complex networking systems, reliable energy. The scale was extraordinary. The next phase of xAI's journey would no longer be defined only by software. It would also depend on building one of the most powerful computing infrastructures ever assembled. A challenge measured not in thousands of computers, but in hundreds of thousands. Many startups dream of changing the world. Few attempt to build the physical infrastructure needed to support that dream. Yet, xAI understood a fundamental truth. Artificial intelligence is limited by computation. The smarter the models become, the more computing they require. And the more computing they require, the greater the need for bold engineering. The race was no longer only about algorithms. It was about building the engines capable of powering the future. Looking back, it is easy to focus on today's headlines, but at that moment, nothing was guaranteed. There is no certainty that xAI would succeed. No certainty that its models would compete with the world's best. No certainty that its enormous investments would pay off. There was only a vision, a team, and the willingness to move forward despite uncertainty. That has always been the beginning of remarkable journeys. Not certainty, but courage. The next chapter would push that courage even further, because building advanced artificial intelligence required something few companies had ever attempted: an AI supercomputer of unprecedented scale. A machine designed not merely to calculate faster, but to help unlock the next generation of intelligence. Its name would become known around the technology world: Colossus. and its construction would demonstrate just how far xAI was willing to go in pursuit of its mission. Chapter 3: Building Colossus, the race to create an AI supercomputer. Throughout history, every great leap forward has required a powerful engine. The Industrial Revolution had the steam engine. The space age had powerful rockets. The internet age had massive data centers. And the age of artificial intelligence would require a new kind of engine. Not powered by coal, not powered by gasoline, but powered by computation. An engine capable of processing unimaginable amounts of information. For xAI, that engine would become known as Colossus. Its name alone sounded enormous, and so was the ambition behind it. By the mid-2020s, the race to build advanced AI had become more than a competition of ideas. It had become a competition of infrastructure. Researchers around the world were discovering that better algorithms were only part of the equation. To train increasingly capable AI models, they needed extraordinary computing power. Thousands of specialized processors working together, high-speed networking, reliable electricity, advanced cooling systems. Every second of computation required an immense amount of engineering. The future of AI was no longer being built only in laboratories. It was being built inside some of the largest computing facilities ever created. For xAI, this presented a difficult choice. The company could depend entirely on existing infrastructure, or it could build something of its own. Building it would require enormous investment. It would demand speed, coordination, and relentless determination. Many people thought such a project would take years, but xAI believed time itself had become one of the most valuable resources. The AI race was moving too quickly to wait. Engineers, construction teams, network specialists, and hardware experts began working toward a common goal. Every cable mattered, every server mattered, every processor had to communicate with thousands of others. The challenge was unlike building an ordinary office. It was closer to constructing the nervous system of an artificial brain. One mistake could slow everything. One improvement could accelerate months of research. What made Colossus remarkable was not simply its size, it was its purpose. Every processor installed, every network connection completed, every system tested, was another step toward creating machines capable of learning more efficiently. People often imagine artificial intelligence as software floating inside a computer. The reality is much more physical. Behind every conversation with an AI assistant, behind every generated image, behind every scientific calculation, there are real machines, real buildings, real engineers, real people working tirelessly behind the scenes. The digital world depends on a very physical foundation. Building Colossus required more than technology, it required trust. Teams had to solve problems that had no established blueprint. Hardware had to arrive on time. Power systems had to remain stable. Cooling systems had to keep thousands of processors operating continuously. Each challenge demanded cooperation. The project became a reminder that extraordinary achievements are rarely the work of one individual. They are built by thousands of people moving toward one shared vision. Meanwhile, outside the company, the world continued watching the AI revolution unfold. New models appeared. New breakthroughs were announced. Every month brought fresh competition. The pace was relentless. Some wondered whether xAI had entered the race too late. Others believed the company could move faster than anyone expected. Technology history had shown this pattern before. People often underestimate what determined teams can accomplish under pressure. As Colossus grew, another lesson became clear. Artificial intelligence is not only about intelligence, it is also about perseverance. Powerful systems are built one component at a time. one decision at a time, one improvement at a time. The public often sees the final demonstration, the polished product, the impressive announcement. But hidden beneath every achievement are countless hours of unseen work. Long nights, unexpected setbacks, problems solved quietly without headlines. That invisible effort is where greatness is truly created. For the engineers working on Colossus, the project represented more than a technical challenge. It represented belief that better tools could help researchers discover new medicines, help scientists understand climate systems, help engineers design safer technologies, help students learn faster, help humanity solve problems that once seemed impossible. The machine itself was not the destination. It was the instrument. The true goal remained the same as it had been from the beginning: to expand human understanding, yet with greater capability came greater responsibility. As AI systems became more powerful, society began asking increasingly important questions. How should this technology be used? Who should control it? How can innovation move forward while protecting humanity? These questions had no simple answers, and they would become some of the defining challenges of the AI era. xAI was not only building powerful technology, it was entering a global conversation about the future of intelligence itself. History reminds us that every transformative technology creates both excitement and uncertainty. Electricity transformed civilization, so did automobiles, so did the internet. Artificial intelligence may become another chapter in that long story. The outcome will depend not only on the machines we build, but on the wisdom with which we choose to use them. Colossus was more than a supercomputer. It became a symbol of ambition, a symbol of engineering, a symbol of humanity's determination to keep pushing beyond today's limits. But infrastructure alone cannot change the world. The next challenge was even greater: building an AI assistant capable of helping millions of people every day. An assistant designed with its own personality, its own voice, its own approach to answering questions. Its name was Grok, and its story was only beginning. Chapter 4: Grok, the AI that dared to be different. Every revolutionary technology eventually faces the same challenge. It must leave the laboratory and enter the lives of ordinary people. An invention is only the beginning. Its true impact is measured by how it changes the way people think, work, learn, and create. For xAI, that moment arrived with a new AI assistant. Its name was Grok. The name came from the science fiction novel Stranger in a Strange Land, where Grok means to understand something so completely that it becomes part of you. It was an ambitious name, because xAI's goal was not merely to create another chatbot. It wanted to build an AI that could help people explore ideas, solve problems, and satisfy their curiosity. When Grok was introduced, the AI landscape was already crowded. Millions of people had begun using AI assistants. Expectations were rising quickly. People wanted faster answers, more natural conversations, greater accuracy, and tools that could help them accomplish real work. Entering such a competitive environment was no easy task. Many wondered why xAI would challenge companies that already had a significant head start. But throughout history, competition has often driven innovation. When multiple teams pursue the same goal from different perspectives, progress accelerates. xAI believed it could contribute something unique to that progress. From the beginning, Grok was designed with a distinct personality. It aimed to be conversational, curious, and willing to tackle difficult questions. Its creators believed that learning should not feel mechanical. It should feel like an exploration. Instead of simply providing information, AI could encourage people to think more deeply, ask better questions, discover new perspectives. After all, curiosity has always been one of humanity's greatest strengths. Building Grok required more than clever programming. It required enormous amounts of data, powerful computing systems, advanced machine learning techniques, and thousands of careful decisions made by researchers and engineers. Training an AI model is unlike writing traditional software. A programmer cannot simply type every possible answer. Instead, engineers create systems capable of recognizing patterns, learning relationships, and generating useful responses based on what they have learned. It is a process that combines mathematics, computer science, engineering, and human judgment. Every improvement demanded patience. Researchers would test a new idea, measure the results, identify weaknesses, adjust the system, then begin again. Progress often came one small step at a time. From the outside, AI breakthroughs can appear sudden. A new model is announced. People are amazed. But behind every announcement are countless experiments that never become headlines. Success is usually built upon hundreds of quiet improvements. As Grok evolved, so did the expectations placed upon it. People wanted AI that could help them write, code, learn, research, brainstorm, translate, solve technical problems. Explain complicated ideas in simple language. The role of AI was expanding rapidly. It was becoming less like a search engine and more like a collaborative partner. This transformation represented one of the biggest shifts in the history of computing. For decades, humans learned how to use computers. Now, computers were beginning to learn how to communicate more naturally with humans. Yet, every powerful technology brings responsibility. AI systems can make mistakes. They can misunderstand questions. They require continuous improvement. The engineers behind Grok understood that developing advanced AI is not a destination. It is an ongoing journey. Every new capability creates new challenges. Every improvement reveals new opportunities. Perfection is not achieved in a single release. It is pursued through constant learning. Meanwhile, the competition continued to intensify. Around the world, companies invested billions of dollars into artificial intelligence. New models appeared with remarkable speed. Each breakthrough raised the standard for everyone else. But xAI embraced the pressure. Competition, after all, has often accelerated some of humanity's greatest innovations. The race was no longer about creating the first AI assistant. It was about creating AI that people could genuinely trust and rely upon. Behind every conversation with Grok stood something much larger than software. There were researchers studying machine learning, engineers optimizing computer systems, infrastructure teams maintaining enormous data centers, scientists exploring new algorithms, thousands of individuals working toward one shared goal. This is a truth often forgotten in technology. Behind every intelligent machine are countless intelligent people. Technology reflects the dedication of those who build it. As Grok continued to evolve, xAI's mission remained unchanged. The company was not trying merely to participate in the AI revolution. It wanted to help shape its direction. It wanted artificial intelligence to become a tool that expanded human knowledge, a tool that accelerated scientific discovery, a tool that encouraged curiosity rather than replacing it. Because knowledge has always grown through questions, and every answer leads to another question waiting to be explored. The journey of xAI was still only beginning. Building Grok was one milestone, but the larger mission stretched far beyond any single product. The future would demand even more powerful systems, even greater responsibility, even deeper collaboration between humans and machines. The next chapter would examine the fierce competition, the criticism, and the enormous challenges of building artificial intelligence in one of the fastest-moving industries in history. Because every company that seeks to change the world must first prove that it can withstand the pressure of the world watching. Chapter 5: competition, criticism, and the race for artificial general intelligence. There's an old saying, the higher you climb, the stronger the wind becomes. Every company that attempts to reshape history eventually reaches a point where success alone is no longer enough. The world begins watching every decision, every announcement, every mistake, every promise. For xAI, that moment arrived almost immediately. The company had entered one of the most competitive industries in modern history. Around the globe, some of the brightest scientists, engineers, and entrepreneurs were pursuing the same destination, artificial intelligence. But each believed there was a different path to reach it. The race was no longer about creating software. It was about creating the future. Who would build the most capable AI? Who would train the most advanced models? Who would create systems that people could trust? These questions echoed through boardrooms, research laboratories, universities, and governments. Artificial intelligence had become more than a technology. It had become a defining challenge of the century. For xAI, competition was unavoidable. Every new breakthrough from one company inspired another to move faster. Every innovation raised expectations. Every improvement shortened the time available to respond. Progress accelerated at a breathtaking pace. A discovery announced today could become outdated within months. The AI race rewarded only one thing: continuous learning. But competition was only one challenge. There was also criticism. Some questioned whether AI was advancing too quickly. Others worried about privacy. Some feared the impact on jobs. Others debated how governments should regulate increasingly capable systems. These concerns were not signs of weakness. They reflected the enormous importance of the technology itself. History shows that every transformative invention creates difficult conversations. Electricity changed cities, automobiles changed transportation, the internet changed communication. Artificial intelligence may change nearly everything. With that possibility comes responsibility. Inside xAI, engineers understood that building powerful AI required more than speed. It required discipline. Every improvement had to be tested. Every capability had to be evaluated. Every new model represented not just greater intelligence, but greater responsibility. The goal was never simply to build a smarter machine. The goal was to build technology that could benefit humanity. Yet perhaps the greatest challenge was not external. It was internal. How do you continue improving when the world expects constant breakthroughs? How do you maintain creativity under relentless pressure? How do you avoid becoming satisfied with yesterday's success? The answer lay in the company's culture. Curiosity remained its greatest resource. Engineers were encouraged to question assumptions. Researchers were encouraged to experiment. Failure was viewed not as the end of progress, but as part of the path toward it. One idea guided much of the industry's long-term vision. Artificial general intelligence, often called AGI, unlike AI systems designed for specific tasks, AGI refers to a future system capable of learning, reasoning, and adapting across many domains with broad competence. Whether, when, or how AGI will be achieved remains an open question among researchers. There is no consensus timeline. Some believe it could arrive within years. Others think it may take decades. Some question whether it is even possible in the form people imagine. But nearly everyone agrees on one point. The pursuit of more capable AI will continue shaping science and technology for years to come. For xAI, the journey was never only about winning a race. It was about contributing to humanity's understanding of intelligence itself. Every improvement in machine learning revealed something new, not only about computers, but about people. How we learn, how we solve problems, how we communicate. In trying to teach machines, humanity was also learning more about its own mind. There is a powerful lesson hidden within xAI's story. The future is rarely built by those who wait for certainty. It is built by those willing to explore uncertainty with discipline, humility, and persistence. Every great explorer crossed an ocean without seeing the opposite shore. Every scientist began an experiment without knowing the outcome. Every inventor accepted the possibility of failure. Progress has always required courage. As xAI continued expanding its research, building larger computing systems, and improving Grok, one truth became increasingly clear. Artificial intelligence was not the destination. It was the beginning of a new chapter in human history, a chapter filled with extraordinary opportunities and profound responsibilities. The question was no longer whether AI would shape the future. The question was how humanity would shape AI, and that answer would depend not on one company, but on millions of people working together across science, education, engineering, and society. The next chapter would look beyond today's competition and tomorrow's products. It would explore the future xAI hopes to help build, a future where artificial intelligence becomes not a replacement for human curiosity, but one of its greatest allies. Chapter 6: The Future xAI Wants to Build. The future has always belonged to those who were willing to imagine it first. Centuries ago, people imagined crossing oceans that had never been explored. Generations later, others imagined flying through the sky. Then came those who imagined walking on the moon. Each dream seemed impossible, until someone decided that impossible was only a temporary description. Today, humanity stands at the edge of another great frontier. Not an ocean, not another planet, but intelligence itself. And xAI believes this frontier may be one of the most important journeys our species has ever undertaken. Imagine a world where scientists discover new medicines in months instead of decades, where engineers design cleaner sources of energy with the help of intelligent systems, where teachers have tools that adapt to every student's learning style, where doctors receive AI-assisted insights that help detect diseases earlier, where researchers can analyze millions of scientific papers in hours instead of years. This is not a promise that AI alone will solve every problem. It is a vision of AI becoming one of humanity's most powerful tools, a partner in discovery, a catalyst for innovation, a force that amplifies human creativity rather than replacing it. Throughout history, every powerful technology has expanded human ability. The telescope expanded our vision. The microscope revealed invisible worlds. The printing press spread knowledge. The internet connected billions of people. Artificial intelligence may become another instrument in that long tradition. Not because it replaces human intelligence, but because it extends what humans can accomplish together. This idea lies at the heart of xAI's mission. The company has often described its purpose as understanding the true nature of the universe. At first glance, those words sound almost impossible. How could any company hope to understand something so vast? Perhaps the answer is that the mission is not about claiming complete understanding. It is about refusing to stop asking questions. The greatest scientific discoveries rarely begin with certainty. They begin with curiosity, with someone asking, "What if?" Curiosity has driven every great leap in civilization. A child asking why the stars shine, a scientist wondering how life began, an engineer imagining a machine that has never existed, an entrepreneur believing that today's impossible idea could become tomorrow's everyday reality. Curiosity is not simply a personality trait. It is the engine of progress. And xAI hopes to build tools that help keep that engine running. But the future will demand more than intelligence. It will demand wisdom. Powerful technologies can create remarkable opportunities. They can also create difficult challenges. Questions about safety, privacy, responsibility, fairness, the impact on jobs and education. No single company can answer all of these questions alone. The future of AI will depend on collaboration between researchers, educators, government, businesses, and society as a whole. Technology shapes the future, but people decide how that technology is used. There's another lesson hidden inside xAI's story. Many people believe innovation begins with having the perfect answer. In reality, innovation often begins with asking a better question. The founders of xAI did not begin with certainty. They began with curiosity. They asked whether artificial intelligence could help humanity understand the universe more deeply. Whether that vision takes decades or longer to fully realize, the willingness to ask such a question is itself remarkable. History is moved forward by those who dare to explore questions that others consider too ambitious. As xAI continues to grow, new challenges will emerge. Artificial intelligence will become more capable. Expectations will become higher. Competition will become even stronger. The road ahead will almost certainly include setbacks as well as breakthroughs. That is the nature of every great journey. The companies that endure are rarely the ones that avoid obstacles. They're the ones that continue learning from them. Perhaps the greatest lesson from xAI is not about technology at all. It is about perspective. Every generation inherits unanswered questions. Some people accept those mysteries. Others dedicate their lives to exploring them. The future belongs to those who remain curious, who continue learning, who refuse to believe that today's limits must become tomorrow's limits. One day, historians may look back at this period as the beginning of a new age, an age when machines became partners in scientific discovery, an age when intelligence itself became one of humanity's greatest tools. Whether that future unfolds exactly as imagined remains uncertain. But one thing is certain. It will be shaped by people willing to dream beyond the horizon. The story of xAI is still being written. Its greatest achievements may still lie ahead. Its biggest challenges almost certainly do. But every chapter begins the same way. With a question, with a dream, with the courage to begin. And perhaps that is the most inspiring lesson of all. Chapter 7. The greatest lessons from xAI: vision, curiosity, and the courage to build the future. Every great company leaves behind more than technology. It leaves behind a story of decisions made when the future was uncertain, a story of people who continued when challenges appeared impossible, a story of ideas that started small but eventually changed the world. The story of xAI is still unfolding, but even in its early years, it offers powerful lessons about ambition, innovation, and the human desire to understand. Lesson 1. Great things begin with great questions. Before there was xAI, before there was Grok, before there was a powerful AI supercomputer, there was a question about intelligence, a question about the universe, a question about whether humanity could create tools that help us understand things beyond our current abilities. Many people search for opportunities, but history is often changed by people who search for questions. A business opportunity asks, how can we make something people want? A visionary question asks, what is something humanity needs that does not exist yet? The second question is much harder, but it is also where the greatest discoveries begin. Lesson 2. Vision requires patience. The world often celebrates the final result. It celebrates the successful product, the breakthrough announcement, the moment when everyone finally understands. The world rarely sees the years before success, the experiments that failed, the ideas that changed, the problems that seemed impossible. Every major innovation requires patience. A scientist may spend years searching for an answer. An engineer may spend years improving a design. A company may spend years building technology before anyone recognizes its value. Vision without patience disappears. Patience turns vision into reality. Lesson 3. The future belongs to those who build. Many people can predict change. Far fewer people can create it. It is easy to talk about the future. It is much harder to spend years building the systems, tools, and technologies required to make that future possible. xAI represents this difference. Talking about artificial intelligence is easy. Building advanced AI systems is extremely difficult. It requires mathematics, computer science, engineering, research, infrastructure, and thousands of people working together. The future is not created by imagination alone. It is created through action. Lesson 4. Powerful technology requires responsibility. Throughout history, powerful inventions have changed civilization. But power always comes with responsibility. The same technology that can solve problems can also create new challenges. Artificial intelligence is no different. The future of AI will depend not only on how intelligent machines become, but on how wisely humans use them. Innovation and responsibility must move together. The goal should not simply be creating more powerful technology. The goal should be creating technology that improves human life. Lesson 5. Speed matters, but learning matters more. Technology moves faster than ever before. Companies compete to release new products. Researchers race to discover new methods. But speed alone does not create lasting success. The ability to learn does. The most successful organizations are those that can adapt. They learn from mistakes. They improve continuously. They accept that yesterday's solution may not solve tomorrow's problem. The world changes constantly. The ability to learn becomes one of the greatest advantages. Lesson 6. Ambitious goals attract extraordinary people. People are often inspired by difficult missions. A small goal can create a small effort. A meaningful goal can inspire extraordinary dedication. When people believe they are working on something important, they bring more creativity, energy, and commitment. Throughout history, great challenges have united people. Building a spacecraft, exploring the oceans, understanding the human body, creating artificial intelligence. The size of the mission influences the size of the effort. The human story behind xAI. At its deepest level, xAI is not only a technology story. It is a human story. A story about curiosity. The same curiosity that made ancient humans look at the stars. The same curiosity that led scientists to explore nature. The same curiosity that drives children to ask endless questions. Human progress begins with a simple desire: to know more, to understand more, to discover what lies beyond what we already know. A message for dreamers. The story of xAI offers a message to anyone chasing a difficult dream. Do not wait until every answer is clear. Do not wait until every person agrees. Every great journey begins with uncertainty. The first airplane was once impossible. The first computer was once unimaginable. The first AI systems were once science fiction. The future always begins as an idea in someone's mind. The difference between a dream and reality is the courage to take the first step. xAI is still young. Its greatest achievements may still be ahead. Its challenges will continue. The AI industry will evolve. New discoveries will appear. New questions will emerge. But the spirit behind the journey remains timeless. Ask bigger questions. Think beyond limitations. Keep learning. Build responsibly, and never lose curiosity. Because curiosity is where every great discovery begins. Final chapter, xAI, the dream of understanding intelligence in the universe. Every great journey begins with a mystery. a mystery that captures human imagination, a mystery that refuses to disappear. For thousands of years, humanity has looked toward the stars and asked, "Are we alone?" We have studied the oceans and asked, "What secrets remain hidden beneath the surface?" We have studied our own minds and asked, "What is intelligence?" These questions define who we are. They represent humanity's endless desire to understand. And today, artificial intelligence has become part of that journey. The story of xAI is not simply about creating another technology company. It is about one of humanity's oldest ambitions, understanding intelligence itself. From the first moment, humans created tools. We have searched for ways to extend our abilities. The wheel extended our movement. The telescope extended our vision. The computer extended our calculations. Artificial intelligence may become the next great extension of human capability, a tool that helps us think, discover, create, and explore questions that were once beyond our reach. When xAI began, it entered a world filled with uncertainty. The technology was evolving rapidly. The competition was intense. The challenges were enormous. But history has always been shaped by those willing to enter uncertain territory. Explorers crossed unknown oceans. Scientists studied invisible forces. Engineers built machines that had never existed. They did not know every answer before beginning. They discovered answers by moving forward. The journey of xAI reminds us that innovation is not only about technology, it is about mindset. It is about believing that today's limits do not have to become tomorrow's limits. It is about looking at a difficult problem and asking, "How can we solve this?" Not, "Why is this impossible?" Behind every AI model are thousands of human decisions. Researchers choosing which questions to explore, engineers solving difficult problems, scientists testing new ideas, teams working through uncertainty. Technology may appear magical from the outside, but inside every breakthrough are human beings who refuse to stop learning. Perhaps the most important lesson from xAI is the value of curiosity. Curiosity is where every discovery begins. A curious person does not simply accept the world as it is. They ask why. They imagine what could be. They search for better answers. Without curiosity, there'd be no science, no exploration, no innovation, no progress. But the future of artificial intelligence will not be measured only by how powerful machines become. It will be measured by how wisely humanity uses them. The greatest technology is not the one that replaces human potential. It is the one that expands it. AI should help people discover more, create more, learn more, solve problems that affect the entire planet. The future is not humans versus machines. The greatest possibility may be humans working together with machines. The story of xAI is still unfinished. There will be challenges. There will be unexpected discoveries. There will be moments of success and moments of difficulty. But every meaningful journey is defined not by certainty, but by the courage to continue. Maybe the greatest achievement of artificial intelligence will not be creating machines that think like humans. Maybe it will be helping humans think more deeply, helping us ask better questions, helping us discover answers hidden within the complexity of the universe. Because the greatest tool humanity has ever possessed has always been curiosity. And as long as we continue asking questions, there will always be new worlds to explore, new ideas to discover, new possibilities waiting beyond the horizon. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the story of xAI. Behind every great technology is a story of vision, dedication, challenges, and the people who dared to imagine something different. These stories remind us that the future is not created by those who simply predict it. The future is created by those who are willing to build it. If this story inspired you, Subscribe to our channel for more deep and emotional stories about the companies, innovators, and ideas shaping our world. Because behind every invention, behind every breakthrough, behind every dream that becomes reality, there is a story waiting to be told. Until the next journey, keep learning, keep exploring, keep asking questions. Because every great discovery begins with one simple thought: what if?